I guess you could say Bardock had a cold reception. Hey guys, Ryan Norris, thank you for clicking on this video. Today we are continuing What If Bardock Stopped Lord Freeza? I know. 2 days in a row? Double or nothing? Now we're talking. I had some spare time and I haven't come up with a new what if idea yet, so I figured why not continue this one since I've got the time and I've already planned out the story. Now, for those of you who didn't see parts 1 and part 2, here's a quick recap for you. Now part 1 we begin with the combination. The only way this what if works is by combining DragonBall Minus with the Bardock TV special. And with those two elements combined, we managed to cook up a bit of a story where Bardock actually succeeds in stopping Freeza from committing genocide on his race. Now, the battle from Kanassa still happens like in the Bardock TV special, and Bardock gets his gift of foresight from the last remaining Kanassan. Of course, the Kanassan intended Bardock to have this gift as a curse, not a gift, but things didn't quite work out that way, because combining the elements with DragonBall Minus, where we got a more respected Bardock, who's more respected in the Saiyan community, he's actually able to convince King Vegeta and Queen Cassava, after a little bit of a brawl with the Saiyan King, that Freeza is indeed on his way to destroy the planet. And of course Bardock having his random foresight moments where he actually sees the event happening is pretty much a no-brainer. And so Bardock had a plan. He used the energy ball technique to transform every Saiyan on the planet into the Great Ape Ozaru form, and they basically combined a powerful ki blast and wiped out Lord Freeza. Lord Freeza was obliterated. He didn't have time to transform into his final form to stop the blast. Just keep in mind, Freeza was out there powering up his own attack when this was happening. There was no time to suddenly power up for him to defend. Freeza is obliterated along with his ship, along with anyone else who was unfortunate to be on the ship at the time. Dodoria, Zarbon, woohoo! Alright, and then we went through a couple months later. Now, did Gine and Bardock send Kakarot off to Earth? Yes, they did. They had to send them off to Earth just in case they failed, which could have been a possibility. There was a chance Freeza could have overpowered them, but the combined power of all the Saiyans in the one planet, all of them in their Great Ape forms, firing up in a combined ki blast, it was just way too much for the Emperor in his first form. If he had made it to his final form, he would have defended that easy. He would have brushed that off like it was nothing. A few months since that event, and Bardock had been training up the lower class after passing up a promotion into the Saiyan Elite, because Bardock has recognized the potential the lower class warriors have, him being a lower class warrior himself. He told King Vegeta he'd rather train up the lower class and get them to the same standard, if not even better than the Elite. We've got to get rid of this outdated Lord Freeza thinking. Elites? Lower class? This is Freeza talking. This isn't the Saiyan race. Which of course led to a bit of a grudge between King Vegeta and Bardock, because King Vegeta is still wrapped up in those ways, and the Freeza influence will remain there for quite a while. So with that in mind, yeah, King Vegeta's not really liking this one bit, and how much respect Bardock is getting, not just from the lower class, but from the Elite too. After all, thanks to Bardock, they saved their planet from Lord Freeza. And so King Vegeta started making plans to get rid of Bardock. He couldn't really do anything on an open and public level because the truth of the matter is, a lot of people would most likely revolt. He'd just make a martyr out of Bardock and turn the entire Saiyan race against himself. So no, he had to do that thing that isn't very Saiyan-like at all. He had to go all cloak and dagger about it, and that is when King Cold showed up, who, after a discussion with King Vegeta, found out the truth that it was Bardock and Bardocks Plan that wiped out Lord Freeza, and King Vegeta and King Cold came up with a sort of deal. Okay, King Vegeta, you give me this Bardock person. I'll bring this Bardock person before me, and I will return your missing Saiyans to you. Because Raditz, Nappa, and Vegeta had been missing for those few months. They never returned home. Why? Because King Cold found them. And the deal was, you bring Bardock before me, and I will return your Saiyan Prince. Come on, just a life of some lower class monkeys for the price of Prince Vegeta, Nappa, and whoever this other one is. I don't know this one. Raditz I'm talking about. And so the deal was struck. Much to little Prince Vegeta's dismay, Prince Vegeta is pretty disgusted with his father's cowardice. He's pretty much betraying the entire Saiyan race and everything they fought for up until this point. Which brings me to what happens next, when King Vegeta convinces Bardock and his crew to go to King Cold's ship, along with King Vegeta, of course. King Cold wishes to see us and negotiate the termination of our contract and to end things peacefully. But, as we saw in the last part, Bardock was not buying this at all. In fact, he got a premonition and knew exactly what was coming, and that was a vision of King Vegeta about to shoot Bardock in the back and end him. But at that moment, Bardock, of course, knew that was coming. He grabbed Prince Vegeta's hand and just snapped his wrist, and he went Super Saiyan and ultimately obliterated the traitor. It was really a badass moment. Here's a shot from the previous thumbnail. Love it. I just love it. Alright, so with Prince Vegeta, Raditz, and Nappa free, and the Ginyu Force and the rest of the Cold Force that King Cold brought along with him wiped out, Bardock is heading straight for King Cold's chambers, where he's then met with King Cold. Oh, so you must be this Bardock person. How do you do? Say, how come your hair's not black? Have you been dyeing it? I kinda like it. Surely you know this ends badly for you. Ends badly for me? And badly for you. Oh my, a monkey with a bit of backbone. I can't say I like your insolent tone! And pretty much, fight breaks out between Bardock and King Cold, and it's actually a pretty good fight. Now, why is that? You might be thinking, but Bardock's a Super Saiyan. He should just be able to wipe out King Cold like that. Not necessarily. Keep in mind, Bardock's transformation is nowhere near as fluent and potent as Goku's transformation in the main timeline when Goku battles Freeza. Bardock is still significantly weaker than what his son was when he transformed, but he was just strong enough to pull off the transformation. The transformation can only bring someone's power level up to a certain amount. So the battle between Bardock and King Cold is a pretty close and fair one. It's pretty getting, they're both taking almost an equal amount of damage. Bardock having bits of his armor destroyed and things like that. It's quite the epic battle. It's almost what you'd expect from Freeza and Goku on Namek. it's pretty much going like that. But Bardock is still the stronger one. And by digging down just a little bit more, we don't work for you anymore! And he's just wailing on King Cold. King Cold does not have a chance. This is just, as Freeza would say it, this is just pure monkey brutality. And Cool is getting to the point where he's pretty much ready to take out the entire ship. But Bardock just sees this coming. Oh, no you don't, you bastard! This is for everyone! You had me killing your name! Ah! He fires a huge, powerful ki blast and just finishes off King Cold before he can do anything. As he should. After all, Bardock is not his son. There's no second chances here. Bardock is a true Saiyan. Alright, so after that, you can pretty much imagine Bardock escapes the ship along with everyone else and is met with a hero's welcome. He did have to explain his actions on wiping out King Vegeta, but both Prince Vegeta and Queen Cassava completely understand. They completely understand why Bardock did what he did. Even Queen Cassava is disgusted with the actions of her husband. To basically put an end to all this progress they made in the last few months, just because he was jealous that Bardock was becoming a lot more respected. And Queen Cassava is allowed to keep the throne as queen until Prince Vegeta becomes of age. But there is a condition. Bardock is insisting that Prince Vegeta trains with him so he can start learning that there is no elite and lower class, that every Saiyan is equal. Every Saiyan has a role to play. If he can teach Prince Vegeta that, then when he becomes king, he might be a more well-respected leader. And Vegeta is keen to learn because, well, Bardock's a Super Saiyan. Vegeta wants that power for himself. He is definitely more keen to learn under Bardock. And of course, Raditz is willing to jump in as well. So, now that the whole Freeza and King Cold mess is over with, and King Vegeta no longer in charge, Gine, the wife of Bardock, mother of Goku and Raditz, or Kakarot in this case, humbly requests that she is allowed to take a space pod in order to retrieve Kakarot, who has been on Earth for the last 3 months. And Queen Cassava grants this request. After everything that this family has done for the Saiyan race, she can at least grant Gine this request so they can have their whole family back together. Remember that we're going off a combination of the Bardock TV special and Dragon Ball Minus, and it's well established that Goku is a lot older, is actually significantly older when they send him to Earth in Dragon Ball Minus. You know, he even had his Saiyan armor on. He's about the age he is when Dragon Ball starts. And as we also know, the trip from Planet Vegeta Earth is about a year trip, so Gine is looking at a 2-year round trip at the least, depending on if anything else delays her any longer. And you know what? We're going to continue that story right now with this little side story. Because right now, while Gine's off finding her son Kakarot, Bardock is still training up the lower class soldiers and giving Vegeta and Raditz their tutelage. And that's actually going well to this point. Vegeta's becoming a lot more respected. He's more respectful towards his fellow Saiyans, whether they're elite and lower class. He's unlearning that Freeza and King Vegeta conditioning pretty quickly. Shockingly. A bit stubborn sometimes, like, these aren't the Saiyans father talked about. What's going on here? We do get that occasionally, but he's learning that, this is progress. This is what they need to become. Also planning with Queen Cassava some expeditions to start liberating all these other worlds that the Saiyans conquered in Lord Frieza's name. Because there is still quite a huge, significant amount of the Frieza force left that's holding down the fort. But now that they're leaderless, this is their chance for the Saiyans to undo all the wrong they've done and restore the honor of the Saiyan race. And that's what's happening here. Now, meanwhile, we've got Gine. She has now landed on Earth. She's gone to the exact coordinates that was punched into Kakarot's space pod when they sent him off. So she's landed pretty much at the same spot as he did. And she's immediately got a scouter on, but she's having a little difficulty working on it. Why is that? Because remember, Gine's not very good at using the scouter. She hasn't been in the field in years. She was mostly the cook. She cooked all the food for the Saiyans. Probably one of the main reasons Bardock married her. She's a good cook. Anyway, so she's not very good at using the scouter. Now, at this point, Gine is stronger than her original counterpart because she did do some training with the lower class soldiers with Bardock, as I said in the previous part. So she's actually stronger at this point. From what she was, according to my sources, she was about 500, which is really weak for a Saiyan. She's about 1,000. She's at least doubled her strength since then. She quite enjoys training with her husband during the whole training part there. Anyway, so she landed roughly where Kakarot landed, and she's immediately trying to pick up his trail. And since this has been a year, Goku is pretty much, he is now Goku. He's had his bump on his head, and he's pretty much already had his big Pilaf adventure, and he's currently on Roshi's island doing his training. But Gine doesn't know that. She's walking around the woods where Gohan found him, and stumbles upon Goku's old house. Goku's house, or Gohan's house rather. When she goes in there, she notices something on the table. It's a picture of her son with these other people. There's Yamcha, Bulma, Poirot, Oolong. There's a picture of them together, looking happy. So Gine's sort of happy and relieved because she knows her son was here. It's just, where is he now? She knows he is alive out there somewhere, and looks like he's managed to make a couple of friends or something, which is not really what was supposed to be happening. Kakarot was supposed to be conquering the planet, as we know, but it's interesting. It's definitely unbecoming. So Gine's got to investigate this a bit further. She really has to find her son, find out what's up with this. But she's not complaining. She quite likes the surroundings of planet Earth. Remember, Gine's really different than the rest of the Saiyans. So she's flying around. She finally gets the scouter to work, but here's where she's having some trouble. It's actually hard for her to find Goku because there are more people out there who have roughly the same kind of power he does. We're talking, Roshi, Yamcha, Krillin, all the more advanced martial artists out there. People who could match, a Saiyan infant who was destined to be a lower class. So he's like, this is going to be harder than I thought. Kakarot, where are you? And so she is looking around. pretty much investigating all these higher power levels that she can, and this eventually brings her to the island during the Tenkaichi Budokai, where Goku and Krillin are entering for the first time. And Gine's sort of curious, you know, so many higher power levels in one spot. Oh, wonder what's going on here. And so she flies around. So she flies to the island. You know, she's still got her Saiyan armor and all that on. She's not exactly blending in here, you know, and her tail wagging. got a nice monkey tail there. And yeah, and she comes to a match, and who does she find? She finds Goku battling in the semifinals with Nam. She's just ecstatic to see her son fighting. You know, even though she wasn't really much of a fighter herself, she is just so proud to see her son fight. And you know, and he's not just a brute either. He's learned these martial arts. You know, he's actually quite tactical. This kid, you know, and the way he beats Nam, Gine is just so proud. And of course, then we see the final match between Jackie Chan / Master Roshi and Goku in the final round. And that battle pretty much goes the same as it does in the anime, right up until the full moon. Uh-oh, Gine, do not look up. Nah, Gine was actually prepared for this. She managed to find a pair of sunglasses or something along the way. She was actually ready for this. She's trying to find Kakarot inconspicuously, after all. She's not trying to draw attention to herself, so she knows full well she needs to take precautions when it comes to the moon. And you know, she just happened to find a pair of Roshi-style sunglasses that were in Goku and Grandpa Gohan's house. Yes, I admit I kind of borrowed that from Master X's What If, but I reckon Gine would still take those as a precaution from the full moon. So Jackie Chan's got Goku in that energy wave where he's trying to torture Goku into submission, but Goku ends up looking at the full moon and transforms into the Great Ape. And this is where things start to deviate a little bit from the original Dragon Ball story. Not by much, mind you, but a little bit. Goku is going on a bit of a rampage, but that quickly comes into a halt when someone yells from the audience, "Kakarot!" And even though Goku has lost most memory of Gine, I do believe in this particular state where Goku has no control of himself in his Great Ape form, something I believe would snap at the mention of his name. After all, this is his mother's voice. And Gine is ringing Kakarot in with his voice, so there's no danger. Kakarot! Calm down! It's okay! Stop! And this actually gets Kakarot to calm down. He actually takes a really... He's basically like sitting in the ring, nice and calmly, moving like this. It's just adorable. But now, does Jackie Chan destroy the moon? No, because while he's calm like that, Yamcha basically gets Plot to change into a pair of scissors, and they cut off his tail just like they did before during the Pilaf saga. And Goku reduces to his normal form. But everyone is sort of shocked to see this woman who was supposedly able to ring Goku in. And she's basically, they're sort of trying to find her now, but she sort of disappeared. Like I said, she's not trying to really bring attention to herself. And of course, Goku wakes up and the battle continues. Gine's still around, but she's sort of floating way up in the air, looking down on the action. And it's the final bit of the battle. Jackie Chan and Goku do their last bit of a martial art fight, punches and kicks. do their final charge, boom, and the fight ends exactly the same way, with Jackie Chan ultimately getting the victory. And they have their little settle down and talk at the end, and Goku asks for the Vader, because it's been about a year now since the incident with Pilaf. Now he can go and search for Grandpa's ball. And he goes off to do that like in the anime, and just as he's about to exit the door and run off, he is stopped by Gine. And Gine basically says, "I was watching you fight. I am so proud of you." Thank you, mister. Because remember, Goku at that age still had trouble working out whether, who was a boy and who was a girl. And Gine's just sort of looking, she's just happy to see her son again. And she's like, Do you remember me? Do you remember me at all? Trying to gesture to his tail. He's like, no, I don't know you, ma'am. What? You have a tail! And Gine just, at that moment, just hugs her son. Hugs her son and is like, look how much you've grown in such a short time. Because remember, when Goku was born, his power level was basically 2. He's now approaching, I think at this point, he's nearly approaching the 100 mark, 150. Quite a big growth in that, in the span of roughly, a couple of years, or a year and a half. And while she's hugging, Gine sort of gets a bit of a look on shock on her face, because Goku does that thing. You know that thing Goku does when he can't tell the difference between a boy and a girl? That thing? Yeah, you're a girl, alright? And that cute sort of look he does when he does that. Gine's just like, were you raised in the woods? Yes, I actually was. What am I doing standing around here? I gotta find Grandpa's ball! And he basically runs off on the flying Nimbus and flies off. So Gine pretty much missed her chance to really talk to her son and tell him about his origins. Sorry, Gine, you just weren't quite that quick enough. And as for everyone else who's there, they're kind of intrigued with this person. They go up to her and Bo's like, "Excuse me, do you know Goku?" And Gine just looks to him and is like, "His name is Kakarot, and he's my son." And everyone's just like, "Shut." What? That was Roshi's voice still in there. Everyone's like, "What?" Yeah. He goes, you're his mom, are you? I guess it's kind of obvious because of the tail. And everyone is just sort of shocked. And I think that is where we'll leave things for now. And where will this go? We will definitely be continuing this Gine side story, because this is actually important for the overall story. And I'll be back next time for the next part. Alright, I'll catch you later.